Hello and welcome to LA Currents. I'm Ann Pulice. Our guest is the president of the Los Angeles City Council. His leadership has helped the city navigate through some difficult situations. It is my pleasure to welcome Council President Paul Krekorian. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing, Ann?
Doing
It's good
well.
to be with you.
Yeah, glad to have you on. You chair an ad hoc committee on government reform. Independent redistricting, why is that so important for you?
You know, in order for people to have confidence in the democratic process, they need to feel that the system is not being gamed. And frankly, under the old model, it was, because the process we had was not independent.
What does redistricting do for folks who are looking to be reelected? Does it complicate matters once the redistricting is done?
Well, in my view, it should be irrelevant. Because we should redistrict according to the interests of communities, not the interests of elected officials. And so if this hurts somebody in their reelection campaign, that should be irrelevant to the process. We want to create fair districts that equitably include all of the communities of Los Angeles and allow their voice to be heard. And the election results, you know, those cards will fall, you know, however they fall. That's what independent redistricting really should be.
I mean, I'm hoping that you guys can all figure this redistricting out, because I just need to elect you. I get what we have to do, right? Just massage to create districts that benefit you all.
When we listened to those tape recordings of that meeting, people were, of course, shocked by some of the racist things that were said during that conversation. But let's remember that the topic of the conversation was how to draw district lines in a way that would favor the members who were participating in that conversation, even to the point of disenfranchising entire communities within the city of Los Angeles. I am completely confident that we've produced a terrific policy recommendation for the council on independent redistricting, and I'm very proud that we're doing this for the first time in 100 years.
Is the 2024 election a reality?
Yes.
That's what you're shooting for?
Yes, for sure redistricting will be on the November 2024 ballot. I guarantee that.
Now, you, Mayor Bass, and a delegation of council members spent some time in our nation's capital. The LA Department of Water and Power will receive $48 million in a federal grant to expand and strengthen the clean energy that we're all going for here.
The DWP is on track to achieve 100% clean energy by the year 2035. And what we're doing through LA 100 is really the model for the rest of the nation.
Now, you've been a long-time advocate for expanding the rail and bus transit systems in the valley, including electrifying and eventually converting the G line to light rail. That falls right directly into this whole topic right here. Where does that stand now?
It does, and I should say Measure M was a real game changer for transportation in Southern California. Metro, I also serve on the board of Metro. We're now engaged in the largest investment in transportation infrastructure in the nation, and we're going to continue to be for decades to come thanks to Measure M. And it was especially important for the San Fernando Valley, which was largely left out of the benefits of Measure R. So Measure M significantly changed that. And the Orange Line, the G Line, as you mentioned, the East Valley light rail line, building transit through the Sepulveda Pass, the connection between North Hollywood and Pasadena, all of these are things that are going to really benefit the people of the valley thanks to Measure M. And one of the things you mentioned was the improvements to the G Line. This is the most successful BRT right now, a bus rapid transit line in the country. And what we've done is already begun investment on improvements to the system as it is. So through grade separation and other things, we're working right now to increase the reliability and the capacity of the G line, and also speeding it up. So those things are already underway. We've electrified the system already. It's all electric buses on the line. And then the next step will be, and this is down the road a little bit, but the next step will be, once all those improvements are in place, actually converting to light rail. But all of those are really important steps forward for transit and for the environment.
You and Council Member Hugo Soto Martinez introduced a motion to eliminate the non-vending zone on Hollywood Boulevard that's been in place since 2018. What's next if that motion passes?
Well, it's a good question, and part of it remains to be seen because we're studying something new, which is creating, instead of a no vending zone, a special vending zone for Hollywood Boulevard. That's because of the unique nature of Hollywood Boulevard, and it's such a tourist attraction. There is a need for people to be able to sell there, but at the same time, there's lots of public safety concerns that we have to take into account. So Mr. Soto Martinez is proposing a special vending zone, which we're looking to explore how we can do that in a way that protects the vendors and protects the public and prevents traffic dangers and that sort of thing.
Do you have a blueprint to follow with that type of system? Are you looking towards some other cities that have the same challenges as Los Angeles?
I always hope that when we look at changes, we don't reinvent the wheel. I always think that it's valuable for policymakers to look at what the best practices are. So for sure we'll be looking at other cities' examples and see if there are some that provide helpful information for us to use. In many ways, Los Angeles is a unique animal. I mean, we're the second largest city in America, and you really can't compare us to smaller cities around California. But I do think that we always have things that we can learn.
All right, what is on the council's upcoming agenda? Anything you want to share with us?
I will say this, I'm really so proud of this council and how far we've come in the last year. We were facing such a difficult challenge in the aftermath of those tape-recorded meetings. This council was facing tremendous crisis, and we've turned a page. We have 7 brand new council members who haven't served in public office before. 7 out of the 15. We have the most diverse council in the history of the city of Los Angeles. I was able to appoint the first committee in the history of Los Angeles that is an all-woman committee, for example. So we have this incredible opportunity of turning the page on the crisis of a year plus ago and really moving forward with a council that is looking to the future, moving forward, and I think we're well on our way to doing that. When I took over as council president, there was some question whether we would even be able to have functional council meetings. The protests were so great and the disruption was so great. Understandably, people were enraged by what they'd heard and what they saw happening. And I'm so proud of the council that we have turned the corner on that, and we're moving forward with really important legislation and with kind of a new beginning for the council and governance in Los Angeles.
You feel you have restored some trust in the city council in a year and a half time?
Certainly some. It's always going to be a work in progress, and this has to be mission number 1 for every elected official, because if you don't have the trust of the public, you won't be able to effectively function in delivering good policy. And I think we have done a lot when it comes to policy. I mentioned some of the work that's been going on with LA 100. We were able to succeed in prohibiting oil and gas drilling in Los Angeles for the first time in our history, protecting neighborhoods that have been impacted by that industry for generations now. We moved forward with the strongest tenant protection program that has ever happened in the history of the city and setting a national standard. We're working to increase our housing stock, in particular our affordable housing stock, which is helping our economy to recover, and locking arms with the mayor around some of those issues with her ED1 and the work that we've done in the council. We've substantially reduced the time that it takes to get affordable housing built. So there's a lot of good work that's being done in the council, and we're taking on tough challenges, and we're effective in doing it.
Thank you, Council President Krekorian. We were so glad to have you on today. And that's a wrap on LA Currents.